Something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see some clouds this morning. Give way to sunshine this afternoon. See a high around 56. Tonight, mostly clear with calm winds. And the low around 37. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy with the high around 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Gentlemen, it's time to elevate your style with something from our men's jewelry and watch collection. Why not treat yourself to the ultimate in luxury? We've got an incredible selection of pre-owned Rolex watches, even those hard-to-find models you've been dreaming of. Whether you're stepping up your game day look or adding a touch of class to everyday wear, our top-tier collection is sure to impress. Stop by Sartor Heyman and discover the perfect piece to reflect your unique style. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
Welcome into the locker room, the most sacred of spaces in sports. Talking you through the behind-the-scenes conversations that happen behind closed doors with former Nebraska football tight end Chancellor Brewington.
Chancellor Brewington, the 6-year senior tight end, finding his way into the end zone.
And former South Dakota State running back and Nebraska football assistant Mikey Daniel.
Hand off to Daniel inside the 2 to the 1, and he powers his way into the end zone for a South Dakota State touchdown.
This is The Locker Room, brought to you by Ep Foundation Repair. Here are your hosts, Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
Yes, welcome into The Locker Room here on 93.7 The Ticket. Mikey is out today, but Chancellor is in the booth ready to drop that knowledge and look forward to a couple of the games remaining on Nebraska's schedule. Also, a little book review a little bit later as well. Chancellor, I'll throw it to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got, man, Bach gave me this fantastic idea to do book reviews. I'm reading all these books, right? And I just figured it was right to do this at least once or twice a week. I'm on this journey right now of reading 100 books in a year. And so the pace I have to read at is 8.3 books a month. So it really, I just round up 8 to 9. You know, some months I hit 8, months I hit 9. It might even go over by at least 8. And so to start the show off, instead of doing the quote card, instead of going inspiration, you're going to get some inspiration from this book review. And so let's cue it up. Let's cue it up, Bach.
Hello, cultured Nebraskans. Sit back, relax, and listen to Chancellor Brewington give you his honest review of his latest reading. This is Brew's Book Review on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, sir. Brew's Book Review today. One of my favorite books so far this year. I'm at about 60 books so far. This is one of my favorite so far. It's kind of like, you know, the most recent book you read is usually your favorite, right? It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. It's a great book. It's a fantastic book. The way I describe is this book is for, you know, someone who wants to examine or know the deeper things, wants to look at life through a deeper lens, and take your appreciation, gratitude for life's journey to another level. This book is like in the format of a story. So, I read a lot of personal growth books where it's like, a bunch of definitions, a bunch of, just straight principles and strategies. Well, it's principles and strategies wrapped into a story. So it's really easy to read. I personally think it's my rating I'll give it is an 8 out of 10. And that's pretty high. I don't rate any book 10 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is pretty good. It discusses the importance of meditation, positive thinking, self-belief, gratitude, and self-control. This is a book, since I've read it, I've gone back to it. Like I highlighted it through, and I've gone back to it because there's been scenes like, oh, there's something in this book that I missed. It gives you a lot of practicalities on, strategies on how to meditate, how to just slow down in life. We have this culture of like, Groundhog's Day where we're constantly going and going and going. This book teaches you, how to like go throughout your day, but appreciate the little things. There's like techniques on, how to strengthen your thoughts. Sharma has a great quote. He says, "You can truly not afford the luxury of one negative thought, not even one." Something I applied since I've read this book is the importance of keeping the mind full of positive thoughts and taking ownership ownership and power over your thought. Because one negative thought can turn into two and turn into three, and then they can start compounding, and those thoughts become things. The author also sheds light on a 21-day process of habit change. So it takes 21 days, supposedly, right, to instill a new habit. But like I said, this book is an 8 out of 10. I think this book should be a staple for anyone who's actively trying to reach their destiny on this quest of life, and wants to see the beautiful things in life. I think this book provides it. It's kind of about a lawyer who is making millions and millions and millions of dollars, has all the women, has everything he wants, but there's something missing. And so I won't ruin it, but there's something that happens, and he goes on a journey. But The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharman, it says on the title, it says a fable about fulfilling your dreams and reaching your destiny. That's what I got, Bach. That's what I got. But we got a bunch to talk about. It's Thursday. It's an interesting day for Nebraska football, because Thursday you already put the harder work in Tuesday and Wednesday. You go off of you're coming off the stretch of a weird 2 weeks, a really weird week, 2 weeks for Nebraska football. You go and get smoked by Indiana, then you have a chance to beat Ohio State. You're winning against them. It's 17-24. Then they score late, and we don't end up getting it done. But Thursday now, I would say the game plan's already in. The game plan's already in for UCLA. I went back the past 2 days and I saw a little bit of UCLA, what they do. They're a really balanced team. I would say they're really throw heavy, I should say, on offense. But it's not like they have like a really powerful offense and a okay defense. I would say they're slightly below average on both. Defensively, they have a really good edge rusher, number 2. He's an NFL guy. I would say moving forward, he's one of them guys that I could see like transferring out of there and going to a bigger school and really making a name for himself. As far as offensively, I think the quarterback, he makes good, semi good decisions. I watched the Minnesota game. I thought they played Minnesota really tight. They played Minnesota really tight. Going into the end, Minnesota was winning. Or what UCLA was winning. Minnesota came back. It was interesting. It was an interesting little game. And then you watch the Rutgers game. They go ahead and beat Rutgers. The only 2 wins this year were to start the year against Hawaii and ending, Rutgers. I believe they're coming off a bye this week. Did they play? I don't think they played last week. I think they're on a bye. But Rule had some interesting things to say in his presser. He mentioned that the team's been good at handling adversity, which I love. You get smacked in the mouth by Indiana, and everyone's expecting you. Even me on the show this past week or last week, I was saying that I don't know how this team's going to respond. going to Ohio State. Obviously, they proved me wrong. They proved themselves right. That's what's more important. But they need to handle it during the game. That's what Rule said. Now, here's the question mark, I would say, is Malcolm Hartzog. He's supposedly ruled out. It looks like some type of hamstring. It looked like it was high the way he was grabbing. The higher the hamstring pull is a little bit harder, and takes a little bit longer. So we might be seeing, I believe, Jeremiah Charles in there. And that would be interesting. That would be interesting. UCLA throws the ball a bunch. I wouldn't say they have too many star-studded receivers, but if you go back and watch the Minnesota game, they burnt Minnesota deep. They burnt Rutgers deep a couple times. So they're doing good things offensively. I would say one thing that I'll be curious to see how Nebraska adjusts is that UCLA uses the running back in the passing game a lot. I mean, last game against Rutgers, he had like 122, 125 receiving yards, right? Led the team in receiving. He was really the spark plug that got that offense going. And then you kind of look at Minnesota game the week before Rutgers, a lot of moving parts with the running back, screen game, 2-minute drill right before the half. Minnesota game, hit a couple screens to the running back got loose, runs really hard. I would say the running backs are good blitz pickup guys. Look pretty smart, obviously, because is it Deshaun Foster, the head coach?
Yep.
Deshaun Foster, he does good things over there, obviously, but he's a running back, second round draft pick out of UCLA, played running back there, head coach. Obviously, those running backs are going to be, tip top shape, IQ through the roof. He was a smart football player, so he's going to make sure those running backs are good to go. He mentioned John Bullock, and I thought, John Bullock has developed and improved a bunch this year. He said that John Bullock has proven the idea of development. Sometimes the coaches, players, parents forget about development, but he hasn't. It's awesome to see John's development for real, because I came in 2021. John Bullock was playing nickel. He was playing nickel, and nickel at the time was, I mean, you had guys on the nickel. You had JoJo Doman. You had Isaac Gifford was a nickel at the time. You had Javen Wright was a nickel. And then you had John Bullock. And now you fast forward, Javen Wright, is, except for the whole, blood clot situation, he would be starting, right? And then you have, Gifford starting. JoJo Doman played in the league, right? So he was behind a lot of star-studded talent, but he kept working, of course, developed his skills from nickel. That skill set transferred to linebacker. And now we're seeing all these things. So, under the philosophy of development and culture and establishing a culture, so players, come in young and grow up into that. We're seeing that with John Bullock. Although a lot of the carryover was from the Frost era where he came in, he obviously there had to be some type of shift, I would say, with the rule that helped him take a quantum leap in his play. And shout out to him, because at the end of the day, you as a player, you have to decide those things. That's not a thing that a coach can do for you. At the end of the day, like, as a player, you got to make a decision. Okay, this is what I want to be. This is where I want to go. So shout out to John Bullock. As far as Alex Bullock too, I mean, I think we should be seeing a little bit more of him. I think we should be seeing a little bit more. I'm surprised we haven't seen Malachi Coleman yet. Just in the pure aspect of run blocking and perimeter blocking, of just grit out there, I think we've lost a little bit of that. I think last year in the receiving game, there was a bunch of downfield blocks that pop runs. Malachi Coleman going and blocking safeties, blocking corners, blocking linebackers at times. Even young Jalen Lloyd in there blocking. And who was it? Doss last year. Jaden Doss, I believe. He did a good job in there too. But I would expect to see Alex Bullock just a little bit more, because at the end of the day, we're getting into November. It's a really hard time to just drop back and throw the ball. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, you can feel the weather has shifted. I mean, it's November 1st is tomorrow. The weather has shifted. It's no longer, 85 and sunny. You're going to be seeing some 5s, some 4s, and maybe some 3s on your Fahrenheits coming up. Rule also said UCLA has excellent defensive linemen. They're rugged, aggressive, physical. I wouldn't say, I mean, you always give props, right? So you always have to take all these with a grain of salt when you hear the presser. I'm sure inside the film rooms and inside the strategic meetings, right, you're not going to say like, man, these guys are excellent, right? Because I think you face a better D line. Ohio State has 2 edge rushers that will go top 3 rounds. You played Indiana, I believe they have a good D line. Illinois has some edge rushers in there that will Coleman in there that will they'll go top 4, top 5 rounds. So you definitely play some guys. I don't think UCLA would be the top 3 D lines you played, but definitely they have some guys that are legit and will cause problems if you let them. I would definitely expect some type of chips from the receiver, not so much receiver, but the tight end, running back to help out these tackles because number 2 is a really savvy football player. He reminds me back in the day of Caleb Tanner. Maybe a little bit more athletic, a little bit faster, looser hips, and a little bit more physical, even though Caleb was a really physical guy. Kind of has that same build, like 6'5", but it has a lot more weight to him as well. 6'5", I would say about 240. So that's kind of the skill set that he has, and Nebraska gonna have to look out for that. Rule also said some teams have known about it, but we didn't. He was talking about the security issue and in-helmet communication upgraded, whatever that means. I'm not really sure about what that means. He says wouldn't want to burn anyone's red shirt as we near the end of the season, which makes sense. I mean, you're in a 4-game stretch where you really want to get some things done. You really want to go bowling. You want to finish this year out. For me personally, like the way I'm thinking, I'm also thinking recruiting too. Like I want to go bowling. I want to win out this year, right? So it's attractive to come to Nebraska, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of recruits, I'll say this, they don't necessarily watch every game. A lot of recruits might just see the end of the year. Like they might just see, 8-4, or they might just see, 9-3 or 6-6, right? So that's what they're going to see. And you have to understand, some guys don't have the best guidance in the recruiting game. They just want to go where they're going to win and where they can get money at. So if you play it plain and simple, that's why you want to win out. So I understand you don't want to burn red shirts, but he did say if Turner Corcoran can play in a bowl game, he can still red shirt, which would be pretty cool for him because I know Turner and it's tough suffering that injury the way you do. I believe that was Illinois game, suffering that and then having to go through rehab, and he's already been hurt a bunch while he's been at Nebraska. So to finish that out and seeing what he wants to do moving forward, of course. And then he said a bowl game providing an extra month of practice will be huge for our young players' development. Yeah, specifically talking like guys who probably didn't get in there as much. Young D linemen, young O linemen as well. It's tough because, I'm sure the veterans are already beat up, but at the end of the day, you want to go bowling. I forget what year it was, Bach. You might have to help me out with this. It was before I got to Nebraska. It might have been 2020 where they had an opportunity to go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
It was like the fake one.
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever it was. But we didn't do it because the whole COVID thing, yada, yada, yada. But for this instance, the guys are so hungry to go. Like there shouldn't be no question that everyone should be excited to go to a bowl game and be excited to experience that for the guys who've never gone to one. And for the guys, who transferred in and have been to one, I'm sure they're telling the guys like, man, it's a good time. You get perks from it, playing the PlayStation Bowl or Netflix, whatever it is, right? There's always perks to that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And you think about 8 years now, not going to a bowl, 15 practices each year. And it's not exactly 15, but, those practices can add up quite a bit. So,
right.
For a program. All right, let's take a quick break here in the locker room. We'll be back right after this.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. As you gear up for game day this season, don't forget the MVP in your life. Whether it's a ruby bracelet to show off her team spirit or a timeless Heartland diamond that shines from across the room, we've got the perfect play. Our experts at Sartor Heyman are here to help you make the winning move. Until next time, happy shopping, guys.
You have a big investment in your farming operation. Let Landmark Implement help you get the most out of your equipment by investing in pre-season service inspections. Let our John Deere trained and certified technicians provide you with a complete list of repairs that will help your equipment perform better and deliver maximum performance. At Landmark, buy 3 equipment service inspections and get the 4th free. Contact your local Landmark service manager for details and experience the Landmark difference.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we want to thank all of our customers for a great September. And now it's time for our annual Halloween sales event happening right now at Koppel. Get 0% financing at Koppel. You heard right, 0% financing on select new models. Also, huge discounts up to $11,500 are available. It's our annual Halloween sales event. Get $11,500 off or 0% financing at Koppel. So please stop on by or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did 0% with Roof Credit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane. Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best boxers on Saturday, November 9th with Vertex at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. Fights are scheduled throughout the night, and if you haven't been before, now's the perfect time to go with Nebraska football on a bye week. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by App Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here in the locker room on 93.7 The Ticket. Chancellor Brewington in studio. Mikey Daniel will be back tomorrow. It's time to dive into some college football as a whole topic. It's interesting. A lot of undefeated teams still left, yet nobody feels like there's a dominant team in college football. So, Chancellor, I'll let you talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a strange concept. So there's 8 undefeated teams right now. You have Army, Miami, Pittsburgh, Penn State, BYU, Iowa State, Oregon, and Indiana. So you got three Big Ten teams. It's an interesting thing. So you got BYU. UCF was favored against them this weekend. I don't see BYU winning out. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's BYU. No disrespect, but I don't know if BYU can win out. I don't know if Iowa State can win out. Because it feels like every week, you just check the ESPN. If you don't watch the game live, you check the scores. You go to the week tab, you check the scores, and then you're like waiting for BYU to, or Iowa State to pop up there with the L. And they just keep on winning. They find a way. BYU had a close one against Oklahoma State, a close one against UCF. You don't really know when it's going to happen, but I feel as if it's going to. Now, the Indiana conversation is interesting, right? So they have they coming up have a few games that are, you don't really know what's going to happen. You got Michigan State, and then you got Michigan. And Mikey Daniel, my other co-host, he feels as if Michigan's going to get this done. And then they also have to go and play Ohio State. Filling in those games, you also got Michigan State and Purdue. But you got these two, I would say Michigan and Ohio State is a big game, of course. I think Michigan is a slept-on team right now. I know they just, are coming off of this, championship season, of course, and, a bunch of, struggles throughout this year. But it's a team that you can't take for granted. When you pop on the film, you're still playing against 5 stars, 4 stars, really good athletes, right? They just have a couple missing pieces. You go and throw a good quarterback on that team. You go throw an average quarterback on that team, established quarterback in the Big Ten, in Power 5. They're probably, a whole different conversation, definitely a ranked team. So you can't take those guys lightly, because if you go in there and take them lightly, they could be the ones to upset you. So, Indiana is one of those teams where you're looking at them and saying, can they get it done? And then, of course, Oregon, the number 1 team in the nation. You go to the column, it's win, 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 win. But they got Michigan this week. It's at Michigan. So that'll be a good test for them. That'll be a good test. Coming off a pretty dominant win against Illinois. I had that game a little bit tighter, that Illinois game. And then you have them versus Maryland at home. And then you got at Wisconsin, and then home versus Washington. I could really see this Oregon team winning out. And I have to retract some of my statements I said earlier in the year about Oregon. I thought they were going to drop one to Ohio State, and I thought they were going to drop one maybe to Illinois. I was wrong. Well, and it was because, they start off, 37-34 against Boise State. And this was before, you knew who really Ashton Genty was. Ashton Genty last year ran for, 1,300 yards, but a lot of running backs did that, right? He was a good running back, but you didn't know he's going to explode for, following that game, he explodes for another 200-yard game, another 200-yard game. And midway through the year, he's already at 1,000 yards. And we'll get into that conversation about the Heisman race because that is very interesting. And then also you have Army, and the Army conversation is interesting right now. They're at 21. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but they're playing good football. I mean, they're playing good football. They've gone up 2 spots. Just last week they were at 23. But if you look at the competition so far, you got Notre Dame coming up, right? You got Notre Dame. You got to play Notre Dame. You got to play Navy. And Army and Navy is always going to be a tight game. It's always going to be a battle. And Navy's obviously good this year, sitting right outside the top 25 since they've lost to Notre Dame. Can Army get it done? Probably not against Notre Dame, but one heck of a season. I mean, one heck of a season. What's the next team we got? We got Miami. Now, Miami, I think Miami wins out. I really do. I really do think Miami wins out. They got Duke coming up. They got Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. I would say Duke and Syracuse is probably 1A, 1B, toughest matchups moving forward. But, that it's that ACC. It's not always it's not like the Big Ten. It's not like the SEC. Pittsburgh, I don't know about Pittsburgh. I really don't. Actually, Pitt lost. Oh no, Pitt hasn't lost. Why are they so high? I mean, Pitt's ranked right now at 18. I would think they would be a little bit lower. That doesn't really make sense to me. Bach, do you have any insider information on why Pitt would be so high in the top 25?
Well, I think it's because the preseason rankings just didn't have too much of them. They're coming off a 3-9 season, so they kind of had to rise up. They haven't necessarily had a murder's row of schedule and haven't dominated a lot of their opponents. I mean, they beat West Virginia by 4. They beat Cincinnati by 1. They beat North Carolina by 10. None of those teams have been great. Beat Cal by 2. So they're just kind of sliding by. Their best performance by far was beating Syracuse 41-13 this past week. But their schedule is going to tick up here toward the end. SMU this week at SMU. They've got Clemson down the line at Louisville. So I think people are just waiting to see them be a little bit more battle tested.
Yeah, they got a gauntlet coming up. They got SMU. I mean, Virginia's a good ball club. Clemson's a good ball club, and Louisville's a good ball club. So I definitely would think Pitt could end up, not being in the top 25 here soon. That it could go like that, which is unfortunate. You want to reward a team like Pitt, who's playing really good football. Next team, Penn State. Penn State is number 3 in the country, undefeated. But they got Ohio State. It's home versus Ohio State. And then they're going, Washington, Purdue, at Minnesota, and then Maryland. I don't know if Penn State gets it done against Ohio State. Maybe Ohio State is beat up from Nebraska. Maybe you can capitalize on that, the things that Nebraska exposed offensively from Ohio State. Maybe you can capitalize on those things. But for the most part, I would expect Penn State to go in there and get it. I mean, for Ohio State to go to Penn State and get it done. You got some home field advantage, of course. I've heard it's tough playing at Penn State. I've never played there before. What else we got? We got BYU. Now, this BYU schedule, I mean, you got Utah, Kansas, Arizona State, Houston. Maybe Arizona State. Arizona State's playing pretty good ball. I believe they're around a 2-loss ball club right now. But BYU possibly could get it done. Shout out to Darius Laster. Stand up Arizona. And then, of course, you got Iowa State finalizing the A&O teams. You got Texas Tech coming up. You got Kansas coming up. Cincinnati, Utah, Kansas State. That's going to be a rough one too. I don't think either of those teams run that gauntlet and get away with it. Next topic we got to hit is the update on the Heisman race because it shifted this weekend. Because Travis Hunter had a really good performance, did some really good things offensively, but also defensively. Travis Hunter is now, according to Vegas, is leading the Heisman race. If you were a betting man, here are the odds. You got Travis Hunter at number 1 plus 200, Dylan Gabriel plus 250, and then Cam Moore plus 300. Number 4, Ashton Genty from Boise State, of course, plus 450. And then you got Cade Klubnik. You got Cade Klubnik from Clemson. I'm assuming that's a quarterback. I'm not familiar with Cade Klubnik. But as far as that, Travis Hunter jumping this week. Ashton Genty ran for like 138 off of 33 carries, right? So you're just feeding the workhorse. You're kind of seeing a leveling out from Ashton Genty a little bit, but even his leveling out is above everyone else's. He's currently, I mean, he's at, 159 carries, 1,300 yards, averaging 8.7 yards a carry, which is absurd. Even the amount of carries he has, then he has 18 touchdowns. So he's playing terrific ball. Travis Hunter now has 60 catches, 757 yards, 8 touchdowns. I guess my question is if Ashton Genty can put together a good final run to where, he's getting into the 200-yard mark. And, I think he has to average around like 175 or 100. I think it's over 170 yards to finish this year out to get to that 2,000-yard mark. And I really think he can. I think he can. But if he hits that 2,000-yard mark, I think he's number 1. I would assume so. Although, Travis Hunter's playing good ball. But I would say 1,000-yard receiver that plays both ways is really impressive. But we just haven't seen a back in a long time hit that 2K mark in college. That's Derrick Henry. That's Chris Johnson. That's, Adrian Peterson numbers. And we haven't seen that a lot in college. What do you think as far as who's going to win the Heisman, or, just your thoughts on Travis Hunter, Bach?
Yeah, well, I think Ashton Genty, too, struggled a little bit against UNLV. And by struggled, I mean, I had 100 yards. It was a good game. But compared to his standard, which he's been putting up, is 200. So I can kind of see that. I've been seeing Dylan Gabriel kind of moving up, which quarterback for the number 1 team. That makes a lot of sense. And Travis Hunter, I mean, we'll see. Their story, part of that Colorado story is that they're bowl eligible. They're already kind of, hitting those goals. And so you're kind of thinking, well, individually he's going to have a great year, but what the team's going to do, if they can get 8-9 wins, then it's going to be tough to argue with that. But I'm just excited because there are years where there's just nobody to talk about right now. You're like, well, I guess every week it's just changing based on who's number 1 or that. But there's a lot of good candidates this year.
Yeah, definitely. And Dylan Gabriel's an interesting one. He's sitting at, quote unquote, number 2 according to Vegas. But when you look at Dylan Gabriel, he's, number 8 in passing yards, 76 completion percentage, 18 touchdowns, playing good football. Of course, the number 1 Oregon is the main factor. Now, if Oregon drops this game, who is Oregon play this week? If Oregon drops this game to Michigan, right? Or, if something crazy happens, these last 4 games with Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington, probably not in that discussion, because I would say that number 1 slot, that number 1 next to Oregon is the reason why Dylan Gabriel's in there. I'm not saying he's not playing good football, but that's usually how the Heisman goes, right? You got to, we talked about Lamar Jackson being, who are they, number 8 in the country when he won it or something like that. But at one point, right, in the height of it, they were like number 3 in the country, right? So usually outside of that, you always have your Bamas, your Clemsons, your Oklahomas, and those are, top 3, top 4, top 5 teams in the nation. And usually you get the quarterback from there. So I understand why Dylan Gabriel is in there. I'm biased though. I want Ashton Genty to win it. I really do.
That would be fun. I think it's been since 1990 since a Power 4, somebody outside the Power 4, formerly Power 5, have won it. So
wow,
that would be a big accomplishment there. All right, let's take a quick break here on the Locker Room. We'll be right back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see some clouds this morning. Give way to sunshine this afternoon. See a high around 56. Tonight, mostly clear with calm winds. And the low around 37. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies. It'll be breezy with the high around 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Mick. The high school football playoffs are here, and we're continuing our high school football coverage live from Seacrest Field this Friday as 7-seed Lincoln Southeast hosts number 10 Millard North. Kickoff between the Knights and the Mustangs is slated for 7 p.m. as our pregame coverage starts at 6:50. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday from Seacrest Field as we bring you playoff action between Lincoln Southeast and Millard North right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This October, the Bonsall Spooktacular 10 event is back with spooktacular savings all month long. Stop by anytime in October to discover incredible deals, including hot tubs as low as $5,995. That's up to 20% off MSRP. Plus, enjoy 10% off infrared and traditional saunas. Don't miss out on these hauntingly good offers. Visit Bonsall Pool and Spa today. Bonsall Pool and Spa, every day made better at 33rd and Pioneers.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodmen of America, touching lives, securing futures.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Honda, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Hi, this is Investigator Joe Villamonte with the Lincoln Police Union, asking you to vote for Carolyn Bosin for legislator. As a prosecutor, Carolyn Bosin has always supported law enforcement to keep our community safe. Carolyn Bosin has the experience we need. Carolyn Bosin is the only choice for legislator to keep our community safe. Join the law enforcement community in voting to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bosin on November 5th.
Paid for by Bosin for Legislature.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel. Brought to you by F Foundation Repair on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, one final segment for you here in the locker room with Chancellor Brewington. Once again, Mikey Daniel out today, but he will be back tomorrow. What do we got for our final segment here, Chancellor?
Yeah, so we're gonna hit on how big was this Ohio State tight loss. I don't think we really know yet. I think there's a question mark that will be answered on Saturday, because this could be the point where everything flips and everything changes. I remember I played a game, when was it? 2022, Rutgers. We're down 13-0 at halftime. We come back, we beat them 14-13, and from right there, you figured everything was going to change right after that win right there. And we ended up not really doing a whole bunch, right? I think we go and end up losing to Purdue after that and things like that. But looking at that game in that moment, you're like, man, this is where it shifts. This is where everything changes. I think we could possibly, there's a real chance that Nebraska could go 4-0, but there's also a really real chance that Nebraska could go 0-4, right? Or 1-3. You go and beat, this UCLA team is not a team that you can just skate by. I know they only won 2 games, but this is not a team that you can just slot in a W and come out there and play average ball, because this team will beat you. They beat Rutgers. And to be honest, I think we have a really good defense, but offensive struggles. We just don't really know who we are yet, haven't established anything. So we're beatable. We're a beatable team because we just can't put points on the board right now. We can put points on the board. We just haven't shown we can, especially on a consistent basis. So I think moving forward, if we come out against UCLA and we're a different team, then I think it's a real possibility that, you can get a couple, you can slot in, not slot in, but you can get a couple wins Having UCLA come home. I believe it's a home game versus, or is it at Wisconsin?
Wisconsin will be the final home game.
Okay, home game. Okay, so a little senior night there or senior day. I'm sure that'll be a cold one. And then you got Iowa. Is it at Iowa this year?
Iowa, yep.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. I mean, we won last year, or 2 years ago when we went there. So I'm sure Iowa will be looking for some vengeance. But this UCLA game will tell a lot. This will tell a lot. And I had at 6 games in, I had Nebraska finishing the year out. I think I said 4-2. And now, we would have to win out for that to happen. I believe yours was around 3 wins. I think you had 3 or 3-3 or
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. So I mean, and I believe Mikey's on the same page as me. We've spoken, and it's like, it's either 4-0 or 0-4. Or it could be at least. And it would be interesting to see, how the guys respond. If you bounce back from a close loss, or you feel too high about yourself on a loss. But knowing the culture of this team, the guys want to play and the guys want to win. The guys want to go bowling. You want to send out these seniors the right way. I remember having an opportunity to win, against a Purdue team my senior year, and win against a Wisconsin team. We're up 14-0 at halftime. We're up 10-0 against Illinois. We're up 10-0 against Michigan. I mean, not Michigan, definitely not Michigan. Minnesota. But you have all these opportunities to win, and you want to go bowling. You want to, at the time we're in the race for the Big Ten West, like you have opportunities to do things. You want to go send these seniors off the right way. The Ty Robs, the, Giffords, the Ben Harts, all the guys who have been there, put in the time, put in the work, and have, gone through all the emotions, the happy times, the joyous times, the, frustrating times, the angry time, the sad times. Because you bleed together, you sweat together, and you cry together, right? And you want to share in that, that experience in that moment, going to a bowl game the first time it's happened. And I know some people are like, man, we should have had a better year than what we're having, and there's a lot left on the table. But at the end of the day, this is an accomplishment that the guys wanted, the guys need, to go bowling and to do something that the state and the city, and all Nebraska fans everywhere, there's Nebraska fans everywhere. And they've been wanting to go bowling and all these things, but I know nobody wants it more than the players and the people inside the building. So I really think Nebraska can get it done, but you can't come out light. And we'll be giving our predictions tomorrow. Bach, me, and Mikey Daniel in the studio tomorrow.
All right, that's what you got to look forward to in the locker room tomorrow, but that'll wrap it up for today on The Block. Coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-8